Hello everyone, if anybody's there. This is Shel and I'm here to do my ATC challenge for the month. And we've got 3 steps and then an option for the wild card, which I'm not going to do that this time. This is an ATC. I've cut it out of 140-pound watercolor paper. This is a cold press paper. It has a rough side and a smooth side, and it is 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and ATC stands for Artist Trading Card. So I'm going to be decorating it using these prompts. When I first start with something that's just white, it's so white, and I want to do color on it somehow. So I often like to start with doing some collage, and I'm having a stack of scrap pieces here. I was looking for things that were a warm green color, and so I kind of have an idea of what I'm going to do, but I don't absolutely know exactly what I'm going to do. And of course, I forgot that brush. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I had to drag all my stuff in here to my computer desk using my the camera that goes to my computer, which is not normally what I use. Oh, it looks like somebody has joined us. Oh, there's Andrea, there's Edwig, there's Katarina, Cindy. Hi, guys. So I'm starting out with some collage, and this is Liquitex matte gel. I like this thicker stuff. It's like a paste kind of. And I have just these little scraps of, this is deli paper that has some paint and ink on it, I think. I don't really know where any of this stuff came from, actually. They're just scraps, and I just categorize my scraps by colors and put them in some plastic boxes, and then whenever I need something, I just get it out and use it. And there's Peg. This is really weird. I can see people's comments coming up across my computer screen. This is so different from what I normally do. I usually use my phone to film, and I'm in my studio, and it's just me. There's nobody to talk to, and I just, do my thing, and then I edit it later. So this is a very different thing, but this is what everyone is doing. All the cool kids are doing the live videos now, so decided to give it a try. I'm a little bit nervous. So this is a piece of scrapbook paper. This is some more deli paper. I'm just getting something on here so that it's not so white, because sometimes you just stare at that white and you're just like, wow, I don't know what to do. And I like to tear instead of cut my pieces because I think they look more organic that way. See a little bit of this one up here. This is one of my old ratty brushes. It should probably be made into one of those artist trading brushes. It's so bad, but it's good for this type of stuff. That way I'm not ruining a good brush. Okay, so everything is all covered up. I have to put that one in water. And then I just have a hotel plastic card. You could use an old credit card or anything like that, just to make sure that everything is smooth and there's no bubbles. And then I want to, of course, give this some drawing, because I don't want, something went ding. I wonder what went ding. I don't know. I hope it wasn't something I needed to see. Here's my heat tool. This is an old heat tool from Stampin' Up, and I'm gonna dry this a little bit because I plan to draw on it. So I'm just gonna take it away and try to make it not so loud. So you guys can just talk. It looks like we've been joined by Susan, Samara. I'm glad everybody's here. This is so nice that I'm not doing this by myself. That was one of my fears, was just to be like here by myself, talking to myself, which really wouldn't be that unusual for me, but you know. Okay, so it's not white anymore. That's good. I'm going to trim around the edges just to get rid of this excess paper. I'm also trying to be conscious of being in the camera space. I even made myself some little marks so that I could try to remember to stay in there, you know, so I'm not off somewhere in the other room and you guys are wondering what I'm doing. All right, that's a good start. Let's get rid of these papers. So I'll just put these back in my green box at some point and have them for another project. Okay, so this step wasn't a step, you know. This is like one of the things of this, the rules of Pick a Stick Challenge are that you need to do the steps and you need to do them in order, but you can do anything else you want to. Throw it in between, in and out, whatever you want to do. So I'm now going to do step 1, which is to add a cat image, drawn, stamped, or collaged. And I'm going to draw my cat, if I can find my pencil. There it is, my pencil and eraser. And then I'm going to paint it in. So, which way do I want to do it? I think I want to be unusual and do it this way instead of doing it this way. So I am planning on having a cat laying in some flowers, and so I guess I'll start with his head over here, and I'm just drawing kind of an oval shape, and let's see, he's going to be kind of laying on his side, or it could be a she. I'm not discriminating on the cat. It could be either one. Maybe some little paws. You know how they kind of, when they're laying on their back wanting to be scratched or something, they kind of put their paws together. I don't know if you know what I mean, but I have a white eraser and a mechanical pencil. This is a Pentel Graph Gear 1000 drafting pencil, which is my favorite pencil. And I have a 2B graphite in it, soft graphite. So there's his little paws. I don't know. Maybe I should zoom. Do you guys think I should zoom? What would happen if I zoomed? That would happen. You might be able to see a little bit better. I don't know if it's blurry. And let's see, his arm would kind of go like that a little bit on that side. And then this one's actually going to end up being in the flowers, so I'm not going to be so concerned about the design on that side. He's kind of a fat kitty. He's got a fat belly. And then, let's see, we need some ears. Kind of some fluffy ears. Something like that. His face is a little fat over here. And then a cute little pink nose. I don't know if that's a little big. I don't know. We'll see. And then fluffy cat cheeks. And a little chin there. And some eyes. And those will end up having kind of those slit type of, you know, their eyes aren't rounded actually. They're cat eyes. That's where cat eyes came from. They're kind of, I don't know. Okay, so there's my cat. He's kind of sitting, laying in the grass, laying in the green grass. And I'm going to use acrylic paint to paint him. And I've got some colors here. Remember, I had to bring everything in here. So I'm going to use some gesso to start with, I guess, just to fill in. This is Decoarts brand stuff that I'm going to use today. I hope nobody's asking me any questions, because if they are, I'm not really seeing that well. If you want to ask a question, make it in capital letters, and then maybe I'll see it better. It's hard to work and then also see what people are saying at the same time. I'm trying to look, but also Peg, or I don't know if Sherry's here or not. Could one of you guys write down everyone who's here, and then I will give away my ATC to a random person who attended the live stream. If you guys want it. I don't know. Maybe you don't. I've already made another one because I had to try out what I was going to do. I didn't just want to completely wing it on my first ever live video, so I went ahead and made one first so that I would make sure that I had everything in here that I needed, since I'm not in my regular space. So I have two of the same thing. There's not really different weights. Well, there is. There's a heavy gesso. This one's just a normal gesso. What I have noticed about gesso is that some of them are a lot more gritty. They have almost like a sand inside of them. And this one is just an average one. It doesn't feel gritty at all. But there is a heavy gesso, and you can even use that for texturing. That was a question by Susan. Okay, so now I'm going to get some colors out. These paints are, excuse me, the Decoarts Media Fluid Acrylic. I'm going to get some titanium white. This one's cad orange. Where's the opening? There it is. These are very intense paints. You don't need a lot. They are a liquid. That one is quinacridone gold. I'm going to use a little, well, do I want Payne's gray or do I want black? I guess I'll just go with the black and mix it. So this is actually a golden. This and this are very similar, but this is a lot cheaper. I really haven't found a difference between this one and this one, other than the brand. This brand is cheaper. So it's a fluid paint, high quality, artist quality paint. So this golden one is carbon black. So that's what I'm going to start with. And I don't know if you guys can see the lines still. I can see them okay. So I'm going to start with the white, and I'm going to use a little bit of water as I'm going. These paints are highly pigmented. Excuse me. My voice always messes up when I'm trying to talk. I swear. This kitty's going to have a white face. Try to keep my hand out of the way. That would probably help. Kind of a white face. And then it's going to be, I think it's called a tabby cat, maybe. One side, it's going to have spots. And I'm mixing the quinacridone gold and the cadmium orange because the orange was just too darn orange. And that's the reason that I got out a little bit of another color. You could use burnt sienna or something like that. But this side of his face and part of his ear here is going to be orange. And also some of his little arms. I have a little bit of trouble seeing his arms. They're hiding a little bit. But I halfway know what I'm doing. And then the other side of his face is going to be black. And he's going to end up having a white stripe. Whoops, that was too much water. A bit of a white stripe down the middle of his face. I'm sure you guys have all seen that kind of a cat before. Let's see if anybody else has a question. I don't think so. Okay, good. Then the sides of him are going to be spotty, but you can't really see his back because he's laying on it. So you'll end up only seeing kind of sides. But I made his paws a little fat there. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of the white and black and make myself some light gray here. For some shading. Make his fat little cheeks. The inside of the ears. Around the eyes. I think it needs some more black stripes. Uh-oh. That was my phone that you guys heard. Not sure why it's duplicating what other things are saying. I don't know. I don't know how all this stuff works. Okay, I stopped talking, didn't I? I need to talk more. Bet you guys are getting the idea of the little tabby cat. Tabby cat, I think. See how intense this white is? I can just go over these other colors and it's no problem. Very pigmented. Fluffy, furry cheeks, chin. Brighten this up over here a little bit. Whew. Maybe a little bit more orange down here. Now the cat orange hue is a little bit more translucent simply because of the nature of the paint. I'm going to give this a dry. So you guys just talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. Looks like people are talking about gesso in the chat. And people are answering questions for other people, which is very helpful. All right, now I am done with my acrylic for now, I think. Make sure that that's in there. And then I'm just going to come in with a Posca pen. Oops, get back in the camera frame, Shel. Well, first I'm going to start with the pink because I think kitties should have pink noses. I'm going to start with that. Posca pens are an acrylic based marker. Very useful. They write over other acrylic and other stuff really easily. And you shake them if they seem thin. You can shake them up to get everything mixed inside there. And then if it's not coming out, you just press it down like that until it comes out. And if you get a little bit of other paint on there, you can just write it off. Quickly though, don't wait. Just get that other stuff off there quickly. So they're very useful. I like them. I use them a lot, as you guys know who watch my videos. Sometimes if I don't use them, people write in the comments, why didn't you use a Posca pen? Where was the white Posca pen, they say, because I use it almost all the time. Okay, let's give this guy a little bit of detail. I'm going to give him some fur inside his ears, a little bit of fur coming off the top of his head. This would be the doodling portion of the event. Fur, a little bit of fur. That wasn't right. Something was wrong. Very wrong there. Another nice thing about Posca pens is they are opaque. So you can go over something that you didn't like and change it. Give him some little toes inside of his paws there. Else have any questions? I don't think so. Okay, I wanted him to have green eyes to go with the background. When you're starting a composition, it's nice to bring colors from your background into your foreground. So I wanted to make sure we did that. Accents there. And then I think he should have a little rough fluff around his eyes to make him look cuter. And a little highlight on the nose, a few little highlights of hair in his ears. Oh, and then there is one thing I forgot. Kitties have whiskers. Okay, so I think I'm pretty satisfied with that. How about you guys? Are you satisfied with that? Good enough. Remember, it's going to be that direction. Kitty on his side. Is everybody happy with the kitty? Yes, we're all happy with the kitty. All right. Next step. Man, I've already been through 24 minutes. This is going to be a while. I hope you guys got coffee. Tint any medium, apply through stencil. All right, so because it dries quickly, I'm going to use light molding paste. And I know that I'm not going to need very much at all. Like that's probably already too much. And to tint it, I'm going to use Pyro Red Decoarts Media paint. Remember, this paint has got a lot of pigment in it, so it's really great for tinting things. Just mix that in. The plate's a little bit dirty. It's got stuff on it, so like scratch, scratch, scratch. Sorry about that, guys. And I have a stencil somewhere here on my stack of junk. This stencil was designed by Tamara Laporte from Willowing Art. But I only want to use just this little flower, and I don't want it to get anything else. So when you're worried about accidentally getting your palette knife and medium onto something else that you don't want to use off a stencil, you can always exclude that part by just putting some masking tape on there, and then you for sure won't get into that. I'm sorry that it's dirty. I don't clean my stencils. All my stuff is torn up because I don't clean. Okay, so I'm only going to use this, and I know that I'm going to be doing it multiple times. So if I was to start over here, then I would be plopping this part into my one that I've already done. My natural instinct would be to start on this side and move to here. I don't know why. But since I know that I don't want to get, I want to try to keep the back side of the stencil out as much as I can. I don't want to make a big mess. I'm going to start on the other side. And I also have a baby wipe just in case I do make a big mess. Not sure how black got in there. Probably off my palette. Come on. Be unstuck. There we go. So there's my first flower. And I know that I don't want to make too big of a mess. That's all I know. It looks like I got some on the back, so I'm just going to wipe it off. Then I'll move on to my next one, trying not to lay the stencil over the part that I've already stenciled, so I'm kind of holding it up a little with my fingers, trying to, as much as I can. Looks like I got some on the back again. And one more over here. And because I don't like even numbers, I'm just going to go ahead and put another on the very edge over here. Try to. And I just got it all over the cat's face. That's great. That's okay, I can always fix it. I'm not really sure what black I got all over it, but I managed to get black all over it too. Can I get any extra water here? This is where the baby wipes come in. I didn't want black flowers. And I didn't want it all over my kitty's face. And yes, if I was making a video, I would leave this in. Just so you know. But it would be at 4 times fast, so that it would speed right through it. Oh boy, what a mess. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try this again. that flower. Okay. My gosh, guys. I managed to make a very large mess. I'm going to dry this. Talk amongst yourselves. So one interesting thing about molding paste is that it will puff up when you dry it, so it makes extra texture that way. Extra texture, texture extra. I kind of like that, how it puffs up. All right, let's go fix Kitty's face real quick before before we go on. Sorry, guys. I'm not really sure how I managed that, but what can you do? Just fix it. There's always more paint. There's always Posca pens. Let's see what people are saying. Everyone's just talking. All right, we can fix it. Kitty has lost his nose. See, y'all did that on purpose so that you guys would see how to fix it. Sure I did. There we go. And then you see this one spot right here where the paste went underneath. All I have to do on that one is just go over that with a Posca pen as well, a green, and I can redefine the flowers that way. All right. Hopefully most of my mess is cleaned up now. For the center of the flowers, I'll just put some yellow dots. Just to make them stand out a little bit. And with the green marker, I might add in some little stems, blades of grass, things like that. Maybe some leaves. Just to fill it in a little bit. Okay, kitty laying in the grass. And a giant mess over on my table. Okay, so the next step was to add a charm. Now I looked around in my stuff and I did not find any charms. Really don't use those that much, but yes, it is a fluorescent pink Posca pen. It comes in the set of fine tip 15. I mean, it's not really fluorescent, it's just very bright pink. That was somebody who was asking a question. So if you look at that set of 15, you get that. You get two different colors of green. It's nice. It's a nice set. Okay. Oh, over here there's a little bit of a smear that I didn't notice. So we'll just give him some more fur right there because kitties have fur, right? Okay. So on to the charm. That's the third step that I need to do. I didn't have one. I didn't have any charm that was even remotely possible to use. So let's just cover up this mess real quick so that I don't get anything. So this is shrink plastic. I have it in white and I have it in clear. This is the white colored shrink plastic. And when I'm using it, I like to sand it. So this is just one of those multi-sided sanders that you get at a home improvement store with a little bit of green Posca paint on it. And I'm just going to give this a quick sand just so that it has some tooth. You know, the reason that you put gesso on a canvas is so that it has tooth, so that something has something to hold on to when you put your medium on there. Same thing applies. And to mix something on it, I'm going to use alcohol markers. When I first started using shrink plastic years ago, there weren't any alcohol markers. But man, do these things work nice on it. So they don't bead up or anything. It's nice. So this is a set of Spectrum Noir. These are the light colors. And what you need to think about when you're making something on shrink plastic is that it is going to shrink. And it is going to shrink 60% of its size. And what is that going to do to your color? It's going to make it more intense, right? Because as that shrinks, your color is going to get more and more and more intense and darker and darker. And so you need to start out your project with really light colors. So that's all you have to remember about it. That one was a yellow. Somewhere I think I have some sort of gray or something. These have a dual tip, and I'm looking for the tiny tip. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. So here's a little, I'm making a butterfly. I'm sure you guys can figure that out. So there's his little body. And I'm going to make like some designs onto the wings so that they're not so boring. So maybe I'll use some blue. Is this blue? I really never use these markers, so I don't know the colors, and I have not been smart enough. That's kind of gray. Weird. Looks blue on the tip. Not been smart enough to swatch them yet. I'm going to do that though. Sometime. I'll get around to it. Okay, as you guys could hear, at this point my Facebook Live video audio went crazy. And so I finished up with really bad audio. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a voiceover at this point because it sounds terrible. It's like all crunchy and staticky. And then at the end, there is a little bit where it actually cut off and didn't even record the last part of my video. So I'll have to tell you about that when we get there. But right now, I'm still coloring on the shrink plastic with the alcohol markers. Someone in the live stream comment section asked if you don't have alcohol markers, what could you use on shrink plastic instead? And a good answer to that is colored pencils. They were what I used to use on shrink plastic before alcohol markers were invented, because I used to have it back then, way in the past. Also, Sharpie markers, which are actually kind of an alcohol marker themselves. When I was a child, my mom made a whole bunch of shrink plastic jewelry for Christmas and sold it at a craft fair. Little Santa Clauses and snowmen and stuff like that. And she used Sharpie markers, but of course Sharpies don't come in every single color in the universe, so you do have a little bit of a limited palette, but they do work. Of course, most of them are dark colors, though, so you again have the problem of the color becoming too intense and too dark when you shrink the plastic. So probably colored pencils, I would say, is my second choice. The alcohol markers do work really nice. So I guess they weren't invented for that, but hey. So once I'm done with my silly little drawing of a butterfly, I went ahead and went around the edges with a small pet pen from Faber-Castell, which is a India ink. Just because I like the look of illustration, I like things to have lines around them. So that's just a personal preference. You wouldn't have to do that. And then I cut it out, not being particularly fussy about the cutting. I just left an edge around everything. There's no possible way I could cut right up to the edge of those antennae or anything, so I just leave a bit of an edge, and I can see now that I was out of shot at that point. The whole live thing is very strange. Never done it before. I think that we're planning on doing this every month in the Pick a Stick Challenge group. I don't know if I made that clear. We have the challenge every month, and we have a art journal challenge, ATC challenge, and we did Facebook Live this month. Each of us did our ATCs on that. So now I was talking about the size of the punching. That's the other thing that you need to remember when you're doing shrink plastic, is that if your hole is too small and it shrinks 60%, it's going to be not even there anymore. So I made a bigger hole than I would have normally for this size of an item, but I know that it's going to shrink down 60%. So then I got my heat tool out, and I'm using a stylus just to hold it down so that it doesn't go flying away, although it does at some point go flying away. And I just shrink it down to a little charm size thing, little butterfly to put on my card. Several people mentioned that my kitty cat should have been holding a mouse or a fish or something in his little paws. I didn't think of that. Those were comments in the live commentary after the fact. Maybe a fish I could have done. I didn't want him to kill a mouse, so I didn't want him to have a mouse. So then I just used a punch to punch a hole in the card, and then to put some skinny cord through the little charm and through the card and tie it in a bow, and that was how I added the charm, which was one of the prompts. And then the last thing I did was to add some Stickles glitter onto the wings of the butterfly, the centers of the flower, and in just a dot in each eye. And that's the part of the video that got cut off. So it's not that much. It's just a little finishing touch. I hope you guys have enjoyed this live video. This is, I don't know how much I'll be doing this, but it seems to be what the cool kids are doing. So that's why I did it. And I'll be back to regularly scheduled programming day after tomorrow. Bye bye.